Hi, guys. Thanks for showing up. It's my 2,000 or 2,000, 1,000, 2,000 for this guy. It's the second show, and I'm just excited. Thank you, guys. Everybody that helped me get to 1,000. You guys were all amazing. I was going to make a list and go over it of all the people that wrote nice things about me. And I mean, it was way too nice that you guys said, but I didn't make a list because I was afraid there would be people that maybe I never saw their video and I'd feel really bad leaving them out. So, but I try everybody that does sub to me. I tried to sub back, and that's how I met some or discovered some awesome people too. Now, I was talking to my fish store guy today, Rob at Aquatic Aesthetics, who's doing a sponsor. Wow. Always do that for Rob. And he was telling me that he didn't think I was subbed, but James put us on private, right?
Right.
And that is just so if there's something that we watch that's political or something that people aren't offended, or maybe I don't know, we watch country music and you like rap, you don't unsub. That's why people do that. But we do sub back.
Absolutely.
We really do.
There are actually a couple people, maybe not in here, but a couple people that I know are in the community here. One person in particular, I'm not going to say who it was, because he knows who his very first subscriber is. But technically, I was his first subscriber before he ever had anything on there. I just don't show up because I do have my subscription private. Like Ed said, maybe we are on different sides of a political party, or maybe it's just something that you don't like and you see that, oh, this creator watches these videos, I'm going to unsubscribe to them. So that is why. But yes, you'll never see me as a subscriber, but Ed and I both do like to go and check you all out. In secret, we're lurking.
Well, even in the fish fam, there's politics.
Yeah.
And that is one thing that the fish mafia is trying not to do, is say which side that we're standing on. And I don't mean politics in his political ones, but I mean the ones that are just within our family. You know, we aren't taking sides with anybody. We just like everybody, and we don't fight with anybody.
Right.
At least that's our goal.
We're here to be fishy friends.
But James, can you say hi to people while I bring up the chat? I can't see anybody in here right now because how we jump, I lose my connection for a minute, and I'm not able. I lose my YouTube chat, so it takes me a second to get on.
Absolutely. So real quick, I want to say we've got 91 people watching and 64 thumbs ups. Thank you all for that. This is the Chattanooga Ed channel. However, since I am more in the chat than Ed, if you would put @Fishroom Fever in front of your questions or comments, that will highlight for me so that I see them. Feel free to start throwing those in there now. We're going to start taking questions while we go through some other awesome stuff with Ed tonight. Let's see if I can get through some of these names real quick. As far up as I can go, hello to Scott's Aquatics, Chubby Guppy, Sandy Dowdy, Deborah Saunders, Opposed, Disabled Keeper of Fish, Rocco's Fish Room, S, Delilah's Critters, Tank Top Tropics, IHSP's Tank Tribe, Bottom Dweller Aquatics, Rico, Stan Jeffros Fish Keeping, Aaron San Mattel, Geek Boy, Dragon Lair, Rick Bunn, Danikin Aquatics, Lefty 3213A, J Oliver's Guppies and Aquatics, which I think I already got. If I did, hello again. If not, hi for the first time. Sandy, I know I got you. Mississippi Hippie, good to see you. Justin Powers, Merdul saying, Merdul, congratulations on winning that shirt in the KG Tropical stream. I know you had a lot of congrats there, so you probably didn't see them all, but I want to congratulate you. Very, very awesome. You were on that. Like John said, you had it highlighted, you had it all caps, and you had it right. So kudos to you on that. Greg, the Guppy guy, what's going on? Scott's Aquatics. I got your sticker, Scott. Long story short, went out today, ended up stuck in a parking lot for a couple hours trying to get the car to start. So I left that and the other mail I picked up from the P.O. box in the car. But we'll be looking at those Saturday on the stream. So thank you for those, Scott. BJ Palmer, lots of awesome people here. I could go on and on. SC Catahula's in here every week. Sandy Remiker, Gila Fly Tying. I'm sure I'm missing people. Ed, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
I've lost my flow. I lost my flow.
You were amazing. And if you're ever in a car situation, you can always call me. I mean, I know it's an hour and a half,
Well, no,
but if you're saying for a few hours,
I appreciate that. I
we could
really
go to
do.
the-
And I honestly, I know that you would have been there to help. I didn't even have my phone on me.
Oh no.
It was one of those just running up the road real quick things. I didn't bring my phone. Her phone was on 2%. And it was one of those, I don't know if and when I'm going to get this thing started again. Her car, I had none of my tools. I had no phone. I had no code reader. I had nothing. So I'm like, call my mom, let her know. She'll get here eventually because the phone's about to be dead and we will have no communication. But I don't know people's numbers, as a lot of us don't. So I'd have been like,
I know. I'm terrified to leave the house now without my phone.
Absolutely.
Last time I left my phone, I had drove off the road. Oh, no, I had my phone on this one. But I drove off the road because it was raining so bad I couldn't see. And I was going super slow because I knew this really sharp 90-degree turn was coming up, but I couldn't see. And I just drove right off the side going 5 miles per hour, smashed in the whole front of my truck. They replaced my insurance paid for it all. I couldn't believe they didn't just say, forget it. But the people at the body shop did an amazing job, made it all pristine. I mean, they even did like detailing. And so it smelled like a new truck. And so my first day I'm driving to work and a deer jumps like off the bluff. So he's like in the air and I hit him and he didn't hit the bumper. So it all was in the engine stuff. And it looked like I'd hit the back of a diesel. And it was like a 12-pointer. Mm-hmm. I didn't have my phone. I was like, everything's running great on this truck. I just need to get to work, and I left my phone. I ended up trading the deer for a ride into work. That was not fun. But let's get into it. I have a couple giveaways. Aquatic Aesthetics. Oh, baby cat's getting up. I figured that would scare her. My local fish store in Chattanooga, Tennessee, has given me one thing to give or have not an auction, a drawing for. And then I'm also, James has designed and made me my Chattanooga Ed t-shirts. They're on Teesprings. They're on the Fish Room Fever website, and they're at the very bottom. So you got to go to get to them. And I don't expect anybody to buy them, but I'm going to give one out today also. So what we'll do is like maybe at the 15, like at 11 o'clock and 11:15, we'll do two different drawings. Is that cool?
Sounds good.
Awesome.
I'm going to pull this up real quick and share the screen so that people can see this awesome shirt that you designed.
Yeah, well, I mean, we both designed it. I told him what I wanted, and he just kept working until he got it right. Poor guy. And it was crazy because we actually came up with this about 6 months ago, but every time James would try to download it, his computer would break that day.
Yeah, it's always
from scratch.
Fun. Here we go. Let's share this. I do see a lot of highlighted stuff, questions in there. We are definitely going to get to those here in just a second. Awesome. Let me share this real quick.
He does that. I'm going to show you guys what was donated. It's an Aqua Flora. And these things are from Pintex. They used to make a lot of Pinplex, not Pintex, not the camera people. They used to make filters back in the 80s. I was talking to Priscilla about it, and she said she just absolutely loved them. And I bet they still make them. They just don't sell them here in this country. It's kind of crazy because, like, most of the writing is in foreign languages. Most of it's all different European things. So I think these are kind of new here in the United States. So most everything is in European stuff. It's not Asian, but it's really cool. These rocks, and I'm going to open this one, and I'm going to keep this one. Rob gave me it, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to buy one tomorrow, and I'm going to do one for myself, and I'm going to videotape the growth of it because there's seeds on here. And there's different types. Here's one that looks kind of like a. Oh, that's all right. Well, you know what? We'll talk about this in a minute. We'll go back. We'll go to the shirt because it's up.
Sorry, for some reason it wasn't wanting to share. Like Ed said, it is down at the very bottom. There it is. Got guppies. I love it. The big red beard. Chattanooga Ed got guppies. That's the back side of it. The front side of it's got the good old Chattanooga Ed logo there. LRB style, if you will, up in the left corner. But I really think it's cool. Again, it was Ed's concept. I just put it together for him. I like the way it looks. I like the color as well, the green. But had to show it off.
Greenish blue too, or that blue just goes really well with it. Absolutely. I'm thinking about doing that color blue to fill in my tattoo. I saw Zen Ginger say she wanted some ink. So do I. I've been kind of thinking about doing a Godzilla one too, but oh well. I digress. Let's don't talk about tattoos. So we'll be doing that, and we'll do that on the second drawing, and we'll do the Aqua Flora here in for this one, or for the first one. It's super cool. It looks like Dragonstone, but it's resin. Am I saying that right? Resin?
Resin?
It's like resin. It's like an artificial stone, so it's a lot lighter. But let's open this up. Oh, sorry, Nico. Hit my cat with it. Oh, I thought it was 3 different pieces, but it's one piece. But you see where it's got this green? There's seeds all through that area. And it looks kind of like a Monaco? Oh, gosh, what am I? Not, oh, man, help me here. What's the real easy, baby tears? It looks like baby tears. The other.
I've just drawn a blank. I want to say Monte Carlo, but
it's not, Monte Carlo, that's okay. It. But it might be baby tears. I'm not for sure which one it is, but it's really cool. You put it in your tank, and you just put it with normal LED lighting, or whatever lighting I guess you have now. But and it blooms within 4 to 10 days. And so they have this one, so you're going to have grass growing from different areas. And they've got one that's just like a disc that you just drop on your tank, and it's supposed to spread as a carpet across your tank, which is pretty cool. But this one's their largest piece, and Rob was so kind to give me this great big piece. That is so awesome. So what I'll do is, since cats are jumping all over me, now Nico just stepped on my mouse and I don't see anything.
All right,
I'm back. But so I'll be mailing one of these tomorrow to the winner. It's pretty cool. And yep. Okay. What were you going to say, James?
Of course, I'm going to grab some highlighted stuff. We've got some comments and questions in the chat. We've got 100+ people hanging out watching. I think 114 last I looked. Thank you all for that. Edgar Reyes, as always, saying hello, Ed and Fisher and Fever. Good to see you, Edgar. Roll on down through here. Delilah's Critters, congrats on the subs. Very much congrats, Ed. S. Shrestha saying hello, as usual. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Roll on down. I know we had some questions. Bottom Dweller Aquatics has got an email. I can send you a picture. Absolutely. Just fishroomfever@gmail.com. And feel free to send that picture to me. Let's see here. Brian Gomes says, what is a good canister filter for a 40 breeder? So I've not actually put a canister on a tank that small. I know that sounds weird. But
no, I honestly haven't either. I'm not a big canister guy.
Sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
No, you're going the same direction I'm going. So
the Fluval makes a great canister. I mean, they really do. I would go for. I'm horrible with their lines. Not the FX line, but it's like the 403 or something. I've got one of them, and it's more like boxy shaped. I found that's worked well for me. I've not tried the Suns. They're a less expensive model. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things. But I know Fluval is a really dependable brand. Another thing that you could consider would be like the Shark internal filters. And you can find those on fishkeeping.com. I know those have been really, really popular. So I would maybe look at one of those if you're okay with doing an internal filter. But if you're specifically wanting a canister, something to go outside, you can't really go wrong with the fluval. How much flow you need is really going to depend upon exactly what you're putting in there. So kind of keep that in mind. That being said, I tend to put too much flow based upon what a lot of people would consider correct. But I also put breakpoints and things we've talked about before. You've got to keep in mind that most fish in the wild are typically used to having a lot of flow, even more so than what we would put in an aquarium. As long as you've got some places for them to rest and they're not constantly stuck in a whirlpool of death, as I call it, you should be good to go flow-wise. Marineland used to have a great canister. I don't even know if they make them anymore. I know
they do.
I
have one.
The Magnum 350, I think. I absolutely love those. Then they used to make the HOT, the hang-on tank canisters, which had like a flat side, and they would because those were great. Could have plumbing issues sometimes with the seals, but those were a good one. But I would say do Eheim or Fluval. Fluval I've had more experience with. Marineland, I forget what their product line is, but I actually have one of those that I got with a bunch of fish stuff. It was one of those, hey, here's a whole bunch of fish stuff. I've not used it a ton. My biggest piece of advice with canisters is going to be when you do your canister maintenance, which I recommend you do more than most people would care to, make sure that seal is not getting rigid. If you can put a little bit of lubricant on there that's going to be aquarium safe, just to keep that thing from drying and cracking out. That's the biggest problem I have found personally with canisters, is that seal wears out, and next thing you know, you've got this canister filter spraying water everywhere. Now, a lot of people like to keep their canisters in 5-gallon buckets just in case, so keep that in mind. Red Eye Aquatics says, how's the fatherfish dirted aquarium doing? I just set up 2 of them, and they're doing great so far. Mine is doing phenomenally well. I've got one specifically that I set up with fatherfish on a stream that you're probably referencing, and then several others that I have done, I guess, on my own, if you will. And they all do really, really, really well. Haven't had any issues, haven't had any problems with the dirt coming uncapped. Everything grows phenomenally well, and the fish really love life in there. Ed's counting all of his dirty tanks now.
It looks like I have 31.
Ooh, nice.
So I kind of like them.
I am probably going to mess your name up. Oh, it just jumped on me. Where is Tony's question or comment? I just saw it was highlighted. Go back up here. There's Paul, Brian, Rico. There's Tony. Tony Cancelier, maybe, possibly, says, well done, guys, or says, well gone, guys, but I think that was going to be done. What books you would suggest to have on fish keeping and on African cichlids in particular? Thanks and well done, Ed, on his 1,000 subs. Yes, absolutely. Congratulations, Ed. So I don't have a lot of books on African cichlids in particular or specifically. I've got 2 big sources, and one of these isn't actually available to you, but my sources for African cichlids is going to be Shy Mrs. Fever. She's real big on African cichlids. The one that is available to you, though, is KG Tropicals. KG Tropicals probably got 150 videos about African cichlids. I would definitely say throw those on. You can do them audiobook style, just listen to the thing versus reading it. I'm trying to think of some good authors that have African cichlid books out, and I don't really know any.
I purposely don't buy the African, or not the African, but the cichlid books in general. Everything's either generally live bearer or something that I really need to know right away, or it's just a great overall roundabout that has everything. So,
absolutely.
Otherwise, I'd run to the bookshelf right now if I had something just with
right. And that's what I was thinking. I've got koi, goldfish, live bears, saltwater, all these other things.
Well, James is thinking.
Oh, here we go. So
this
is the one that I'm going to recommend because The author, you can't go wrong. And this is African Cichlids of Lakes Malawi and Tanganyika. Let me see if I can actually get it pulled up. But it's Herbert Axelrod. I mean, for anybody that doesn't know Herbert Axelrod, just Google who that is. You know, when you've got fish that are named after you, the Axelrodi, Herbert Axelrod knows his stuff. I mean, you really can't go wrong with a book by Herbert Axelrod. So there are a couple other, several other people I'm seeing. But if I had to pick just off of what I'm seeing here, that would be probably the one that I would recommend the most. You could do like a beginner's guide. Craig Wrightson, I feel like I've seen that name before on other fish books. But anything Axelrod is definitely a recommendation in my book.
Real quick, I'm going to do a personal thing real quick. Bob is asking if he's going to meet me in Cleveland or at the aquarium on Monday. On Monday, I get to go hang out with Ginger Graves and Tiffany White and Bob. And James, I'm sure you can come down if you'd like. But James right now has got a wife with a broken wheel. So he's kind of stuck at home watching the kids. You don't want to say babysitting when it's your own kids.
Right.
But yeah, so it's hard for James to get out right now. But hopefully Shy will have her leg working someday. But it would be nice also if Shy could come out and do some stuff too, because she's such a cool lady.
Absolutely. Let's see. Rico's staying. It's just about 15 minutes ago, so Rico's probably back. It just said, wait a minute. Choice of snack sucked. I got to go get something else. Be right back. Brian Gomez says, or maybe it's Gomes. Could be either one. What's a good canister filter? Okay, we got that for the 40 breeder.
Oh, you know what?
There's
one canister filter that we didn't talk about, and that's the Shark. Isn't that's what John is selling on KG, the one that goes in the tank. I have no experience with them. I've never tried to use one. But I would like to try one. I've used the Marineland polisher, and it works great. So I think that would probably work good too inside. And then the advantage to it is if a seal breaks, it's in the water.
Yep, absolutely.
But the disadvantage is it's in your tank and it's ugly. You know, might be ugly to you. You know, you have to hide it somehow.
Definitely. Paul Sotero saying that 20 long that wouldn't cycle finally started. Thank goodness. Congratulations. Ammonia is down to 0.5 parts per million. I think it was at actual like 5. It was bad. It was up there. And then and the nitrites and nitrates have gone through the roof. Another water changer too, and it should be ready for fish. Glad to hear it. I know that thing was giving you a hard time trying to get it going. But I'm glad to hear that cycle finally took and everything broke, if you will, and should be ready for fish in no time at all. A couple more water changes, like you said, and should be on point. Roll down through here. Delilah's Critter says, love Chattanooga Ed's tattoo. Never saw that before. Ed's got some awesome stuff going on.
Oh, well, thank you.
The Cthulhu's.
Yeah, I'm sure she's talking about my Cthulhu there. But I love Cthulhu, so... it's time to fill it in with color. I couldn't do tattoos for a big part of my life because back in the day, black tattoo ink contained, I think, a mineral. Well, I know it contained a mineral. I'm not thinking, but if you took it, you could never donate an organ because it would like stay in the organ, and then once the person had it in their body, I think the anti-rejection medicine would cause it to die. The organ. So I was never able to get a tattoo until I gave a kidney to my brother. Because I knew I was going to do that from like way before because he was born with kidney disease. So I just had to start catching up in the last 7 years it was 2007 I donated the kidney. Yep. Thank you.
Let's see. Bottom Dollar Aquatics says, I have one of those. They don't grow plants. Mine has been in a tank for over a month. I did a video and was going to do an update vid, but there was nothing to update. LOL. I'm guessing the Chia wasn't working.
Oh,
and there's everybody saying Monte Carlo. There we go.
Yes.
And see, I play a game that one of the maps is Monte Grappa, and then of course there's a count of Monte Cristo, and so I have all these Montes in my head, and I'm like, Monte Carlo? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well, Rob said that it was like a Geopet. And so I hope it works out for whoever wins it. If nothing else, it looks cool. You know, it's a cool rock thing. So there is that. It'd be a nice centerpiece in a small tank.
Fantastic Freaks, what's going on, buddy? Says, don't remember if it was you or Ed. Thought of you guys when my favorite store called, said they had some Maturo Rays. Awesome. Not sure if I have a tank that could house them though, sadly. Yeah, I'm in the same spot. I guess I've mentioned Rays before. I don't know if I feel like Ed might have, but Rays are one of those things that one day I would love to have. Especially like my youngest one. He's always like, I want a Stingray, and I'm like, one of these days when we have the right tank for it. But that's super cool that one, they got them, and two, they called you. It's good to see you. Fantastic. People asking about the giveaway. I'm about to get Nightbot in here so we can get that rolling. MNC Aquatics says, what filters would you recommend for a 360 gallon, thinking of Central American cichlids? So for that particular setup, a tank that size with cichlids in it, I'm going to do a sump. And not necessarily meaning that you need to go spend hundreds of dollars on a pre-built one. So like the 220 I have, I'm probably going to use a 75-gallon aquarium as the sump for that thing, and just build it myself. You can do hang on the side or build your own plumbing if you don't want to drill a tank / it's not drilled. Wow. I don't even know where that came from, except from trying to keep my teeth in my mouth. If it's not already drilled, it's not pre-drilled, you can do the over the side plumbing and run a sump. The only other thing that I would possibly say, that size tank with some big cichlids in it, maybe do a couple of canisters on that thing. If it's going to be minimally stocked, you could maybe get by with a couple of hang-on backs, or maybe just one really big aqua clear, just depending upon the stocking level. That's going to be the big thing. So when I think of a tank that size with those, I think of a decent size stocking level, and it makes me want to do a sump with lots of biological filtration in there and good mechanical filtration. There's a design where you've got the water comes down and the pads are actually in it sideways, so you can do different levels of padded filtration for your mechanical, and then it's going through your bio balls or your lava rock or whatever, and then it's pumping back up. And that's kind of what I'm going to be doing for my sump. So that would be my first suggestion, is some sort of a sump. If you don't have the means to do that, or you don't feel like doing that, maybe there's not room under the tank for it, maybe it just doesn't fit into your design plan, I would look into doing a couple of canisters and probably stick a power head in there that can get some good circulation down at the bottom of that thing to help kick up the stuff off the bottom. Would be my advice. Ed?
Well, I like your sump idea. But I've got a question. For planning a sump, you've got to run plumbing. You were talking about the drilling. How many inches away from the back of the wall do you have to plan on for doing your drilling? For doing your plumbing. So
there is minimal space requirement, and then there is comfortable space requirement. You could put your plumbing pretty much right up to the wall. Is that a great idea on a 360-gallon tank not to have access to that if you do get a leak? Probably not. And that's why I like King of DIY, his big 2,000-gallon setup. He's got walking room behind it. So if there is a problem, there's something that he needs to get to, it can be accessed. Realistically, with the plumbing, you can get by with just a couple inches of room. You just need to have enough for it to come out and then elbow off and straight down.
I've got another question.
Could he
do a sump where he drills the bottom of the tank and have it come up and down through the bottom of the tank? Do you suggest that type of situation, or is that just terribly scary?
Oh, you can definitely do that. And that's how a lot of what they call reef-ready tanks are, that have the overflows built in, that are kind of like the rounded panel either on the back or in the corners. And then they've got slots so the water drains at the top, sometimes in the middle as well. And then the hole is actually in the bottom of the tank. That's going to be a lot better for accessibility. I'm not at a personal comfort level to drill a tank through the bottom and plummet.
See, that's my fear.
I've drilled plenty of tanks on the back or the side panels, but I don't trust myself to drill a hole in the bottom, especially of a big tank, for fear that something bad goes wrong, because you've got more weight pushing on that than you do up at the top, you know. So that's definitely a possibility. Do your research, make sure that what you're going to do is going to work and you know how to do it. And if you've never drilled a tank before, I probably wouldn't recommend your first one being a 360 gallon tank, just because that's going to be expensive to replace if you screw something up.
Yes.
Pronto Half Moon, how's it going? Says, not sure if I missed your comment, but could you share treatment for columnaris disease? Can UV light prevent disease? So UV light will definitely kill things. UV light is great for sterilization. So it can prevent disease. More so, what I tend to feel like it does is it lessens it versus prevents it. So unless you're using it on new water, I don't mean new like tap water, but I mean like water that's coming from one source to a different source, you're not probably going to prevent things as much. But what it's going to do is, if you get, we'll say, this is just a weird example here, 1,000 particles of X disease, and you've got that UV filter in and it's pulling the water through, it's going to help decrease that number. So, you know, you're knocking it down so it's not staying constant / growing. And that's where you're going to help, quote unquote, prevent disease, because there's not going to be as much of it in the water / eventually, in theory, it would kill all of it off if it got pulled through that. But if you've got something that's like down in the substrate, so let's say ick, you know, the ick cysts, they open up, those fall off. A lot of that gets, you know, down in the substrate. It's going to pull some out, and it's probably going to help lessen it. But I don't feel that it's going to cure it, / prevent it. But it can definitely be helpful. Definitely. In terms of, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I've got a big green killing machine,
mm-hmm.
and it works great for killing the algae, but I don't use it all the time because I would burn it out too.
Right.
They don't have like the longest life, and then you got to replace the bulbs. So I wouldn't just run it to stop disease. You know, I wait till I have an algae bloom and then I use it. Even though I haven't had an algae bloom for a long, even though I'm starting to have one on this tank, because I took all the duckweed, and this last week I've been leaving the lights on way too long because I've been doing stuff in this room, and this tank actually got it starting to turn green on me. But generally, I never use it, so I guess I could use it to try to see if that would help.
Absolutely.
You know what, James? Can we do our first giveaway?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I'm going to finish the second half of that question real quick because there was one other part. I use Canaplex as a treatment. It's one of those that I don't use it lightly. Make sure you follow the directions. It's got a very small dosage spoon with it, and that thing is like super tiny. And it's, I hate to say it, but I kind of feel like I'm nuking a tank when I use this stuff. It's very potent. So just make sure you follow the directions. You're only supposed to dose it every other day for a maximum of 3 dosages. But that is my go-to when I have to treat columnaris. All right.
And when James says he doesn't use it lightly, he means he doesn't put it in heavily. He's careful with it.
There we go. All right. Nightbot. Let's get Nightbot in here.
While you do that, Patty asked where to find these type of things. They're a brand new thing. And Rob at Aquatic Aesthetics, he gave it to me. He said it's brand new to the market, so it's not out really very many places. Somehow he gets hooked up with a lot of brand new things that are first seen. Like he had some Australian sand, and he has a lot of different things that he is able to get his hands on. So maybe you'll be able to buy them eventually, you know, in other places. But you can always try Aquatic Aesthetics in Chattanooga. I don't know if if he ships, but he might. If you really want one, if you don't win it. But yep. And then somebody else asked, I think somebody asked, oh gosh, no, I don't remember. Is there a hole in it? And I did try to show a hole. So if you wanted, you could probably put some Anubias in there or something and like glue it in and it would come out of the hole. And I think that would be pretty cool looking too. Okay, I'm sorry, James.
So, oh, you're good, buddy. I've got hashtag 1000 to enter the giveaway. Ed, any stipulations on location or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I have to keep it to, I think, North America, just because it's kind of heavy, and I don't know if I could pay for overseas handling, if that makes sense. Hopefully,
Absolutely.
You know what? It's got plants in it. I don't know if I could even send it to Canada.
That's true. I forgot that it had actual plants in it. Yeah, so that's going to be U.S. only because you can't ship the plants out legally out of the country.
I'm sorry, folks.
While we're letting people join, because this is going to make the chat jump, I'm going to grab this. IHSP's Tank Tribe says, I've heard a good fish safe seal lubricant is stress coat. I'd not heard that one. That is good to know. I will definitely give that a try. Delilah's Critter says, I know you can manage algae with light output, but what other things can you do to eliminate algae? Add more plants. They're going to help eat up nutrients and provide less nutrients. So feed your fish less so they're making less fish poop. You can water change out some of those nutrients if you're not adding more plants in to eat them up. Light management's a big one. And then there are some other things. There are some, like, I don't want to say off the wall, but some side note things, but those are the main things. If you're doing all of those things and then it's not working, go check out Bentley Pasco. He's got a great set of videos about some of the other weird things that you can look at.
And I know that our man asked, what is our favorite carpeting plants? And that, again, would be Monte Carlo,
yeah.
Or baby tears.
Yeah, you really can't beat those. Just in my opinion, absolutely. Paul Sotero says Primetime Aquatics, another awesome channel, has a lot of species profiles on African cichlids. Absolutely right. There's another wonderful source of information, and Jason's an awesome guy. So definitely you could check them out for African cichlid info. Bottom Dweller Aquatics says, I sent that email. Check it whenever you can. Shoot me an email back. Thank you. In the pic I sent, the grubs are white dots next to my thumb. All right. I was working on that and I switched over to Nightbot, but I've got my Gmail pulled up over here so I can get that. Tony Cancelier says, thanks a lot for your help. Not a problem. That is what we are here for. Trying to catch these before the chat jumps from everybody entering because I don't want the questions to disappear again. Bottom Dweller says, yes, the Aquaflorist thing. I was sad, but it should have a small hole in someplace. It would be perfect for planting a rhizome. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I've even drilled holes into decor so that I could attach things in there, fake and live plants.
They have I mentioned they had like a little platter one that spreads out as a carpet. So I wanted to try that. They're also he sold out of that instantly at his store. He has a little log and the brown rock that I'm gonna get, and I'm gonna just make a video because I was trying to find it on YouTube just to find information to give to you guys about it. There's nothing, so I'm just gonna do the experiment, and maybe I'll actually be the first on something.
All right, so we've given everybody a couple minutes. Here's the live feed so you all can see this is what's going on. Give it about 45 seconds to a minute just so any last minute people can get in there. Got 70 eligible users currently, which is awesome. So how many people we got in here? We got 125 people watching and 114 thumbs ups. Thank you all very much for that. Nice. I appreciate you all supporting my buddy Chattanooga Ed.
Awesome.
I love it. I love it. And then I did see a couple other questions. We'll definitely get to those. When do we get to send Ed some super chats? Ask Fantastic Freaks. We've got to get Ed set up. Hopefully by next week. Hopefully next Thursday that might have come through.
Yeah, it's just not immediate.
Right. Yeah.
I think they do that to save money.
Right. Well, and Ed's big thing was being able to stream from his phone. So, but yeah, we're gonna get that set up. And I say we because I'm Ed's tech buddy, if you will. So I'm gonna help him get all that set up. Make sure that no wrong buttons get pushed. So hopefully maybe next week we'll be able to do that.
Poor Pam, you know, she ended up waiting an extra 6 or 8 months, so I don't want that to happen to me.
Right. All right. So let's do the 77 eligible users. Roll on down here. We're going to roll it, and the winner is Bottom Dweller Aquatics.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Super cool.
I'm going to pull this off of here real quick. Ed, where would you like their information sent to?
If you can do Facebook, it'd be wonderful. I'm the only Chattanooga Ed, I'm pretty sure. And if there is a new Chattanooga Ed on Facebook, I'm the one with my logo. Actually,
I guess if you don't, since I'm already emailing with you back and forth, if you want to throw it in there, I can forward it to Ed.
Okay.
I just now thought about that. I clicked on their email and I'm like, wait, we're emailing back and forth anyway. So
yeah, that works even better.
And I'll forward that along to Ed. And I am looking at these pictures, trying to figure out exactly what you've got going on there. All right. Let's go through here, and we'll do that other giveaway here shortly. Roll back up. That was the Aquaflores thing. Fantastic Freaks, Super Chats. We got that one. Bottom Dweller says, okay, that was about the hole again. All right. Here it is. Our man was saying, can I breed my bristlenose plecos in my community tank? Yes, in my experience, you most definitely can. My big recommendation would be to keep an eye on them after the eggs turn into wigglers. Usually within a week, they'll want to start leaving the cave. So a lot of times what I'll do once they are wiggling and they start to actually look like little baby fish is I will take that cave out and I'll get all those babies out of there and put them in either a hang-on net if you don't have another tank they can go in, or, you know, preferably a little grow-out tank for them. But somewhere that you're not going to have to try and chase them down and the other fish in the tank cannot predate on them. Because once they start coming out of that cave, good luck trying to catch 20, 30, 40 baby bristlenose that are this big in a community tank. But absolutely, they will definitely breed in a community tank. In my experience, no problem.
You know what, James? I forgot I was supposed to do an announcement, and it's totally off the wall, and it does not apply generally to anything we're talking about. I super apologize, but if I don't say it, my head will get chopped off. Well, no, it won't. But my baby brother is doing, oh boy, what's it called? Pampered Chef.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, because he's like begging everybody to do these Pampered Chef parties. And I apologize, folks. I meant to say it at the very beginning. If anybody would like to be on the Chattanooga Ed Pampered Chef party,
mm-hmm.
I don't think he's doing some virtual reality thing. I don't know if I'm even saying this right, on Facebook. So you can join there and he'll show you how to cook things. And if we can get some people, I'll put a t-shirt on there too to give out. But yeah, I totally forgot all about it, guys. But you get to see my brother and tease him, and maybe he could make me do a video with him or something. I don't know. I don't understand any of it because I don't cook very much. But I'm so sorry. And it's the Chattanooga Ed Pamper Chef Party. I don't know if you want. You can look it up on Facebook, or you can like hit me up on Facebook and I can invite you, because there's like a thing for me inviting people. Sorry. But I got it out there. Okay.
There we go.
And I'm sorry, Tim, if you're watching. He's probably been mad at me this whole time. My brother's great, though.
All right. I'm going to try and get back above the hashtags there for that first giveaway. We'll do another one here shortly. I'm going to go ahead and put the hashtag in here. It's going to be hashtag 1K pound symbol for those of you that, hashtag the number 1 and then a K. Let me copy that and paste it to enter. We're going to do a different one. That way, maybe you wanted to enter one and not the other. You're not automatically entered in the second one. That'll give everybody a chance to get in there, and we'll give everybody one more opportunity before we draw that. There was personal notes question. Paul Stero says some tanks have safety glass bottoms, so they can't be drilled. Absolutely, yes. And that just goes into kind of the basics of drilling tanks. I assume if you're considering drilling a tank that you've looked into how to drill it, but definitely make sure that you're not going to drill safety glass no matter what side you may be drilling on. Been there, done that.
Ooh, Aquaballs didn't put in as hashtag. Like the number symbol. So Aquaball.
Gotcha.
Redo that.
There you go. Yeah, redo that. Let's see. Fantastic says Canaplex saved my jewel cichlid once. Great, but strong stuff. Yeah, it is definitely potent. So I don't use it lightly in the sense that I don't just toss it in anytime I see something wrong. There are much better things that you can use for minor stuff. But it is really good stuff when you need to use it. Get on through the hashtags down here.
Thanks, George.
And again, the second drawing that we're going to be doing is for the t-shirt, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And so this one, you'll also have to put your size with your, but I won't tell everybody your size. But you have to put your size. Well, I won't tell your address either. So just put your size with your address, and it'd be wonderful.
MSC Aquatics saying the 360 is an acrylic, not drilled. So if it's an acrylic and you want to keep it pristine, there are definitely some different ways that you can plumb it to do a sump, if that interests you. I really think on the bigger tanks, that's one of the best ways to go. Also cheaper than buying multiple FX6s. But if you're not going to do a sump, I would look into a couple of big canister filters. Or you could also do what I'm going to call the Corey method. And this is an older video of his, Aquarium Co-op, where he drilled out a 5-gallon bucket. And it was a setup where it actually pumped up in and then drained into the tank. So you didn't have the water draining out and being pumped up. You had it being pumped up into this filtration that sat above it's actually a pond, not a tank, but above it. And then it drained back in there. So you didn't have to worry about like drilling it or there being overflow from the tank into the sump, because that's always a consideration of how much water will drain into this sump if there's a power outage or I unplug the pump. And that's another great method, and I've considered doing stuff like that.
Yep. It's a lot more elbows and stuff, though. You know, a lot of extra plumbing.
Paul says email. Okay, I'm going to copy that real quick, Paul. Your email address there.
I'm pretty sure James and I made sure that these t-shirts went up to 4X.
I think they do.
Is that, like, I want a Bob Kaler so bad. But you see, he's a petite guy. Like he said, he's petite. And he did his only go to, I think, 2X, and I'm a 3X guy. So someday I'm sure Bob's will go up in size, maybe after the whole disease goes by or something. But actually, I should check that and just see if I can find one now.
Right. All right. I'm going to roll down through here. Oh, chat jumped on me again. So let's go back up. There's all the hashtag 1Ks. Dave's Aquarium Thoughts says there's videos on how to determine if it's safety glass. Absolutely. There are several different ways. I like to use a white screen and a polarized lens to check. But there are a couple different ways you can do it. Again, I highly recommend if you're not comfortable drilling a tank, do more research and use caution. Take your time and just make sure you know how to do it before you attempt it, and go easy with it.
Yeah, James, I haven't told you yet, but I'm going to be drilling 255s.
Nice. I feel like you kind of told me. I feel like you asked me about drilling tanks in a text.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to be that big sump I bought for all the beta tanks. I'm going to end up turning that wall into 55s and do it that way. And then I'll do the beta tanks eventually someday on the other room for my fries. Yeah, fish fry. Oh, scared the cat. But yep. Okay. Oh, look. Lefty even put a link to my t-shirt. He is amazing.
Gotta love it. Somebody mentioned pound sign for those of us that are old. Yeah, I will say one of my proudest moments as a parent was when my 6-year-old came to me, and he was telling me a password I needed to put in for his Pokemon to get it logged in, and he didn't say hashtag, he said number sign, and I was like, thank God he didn't say hashtag. At least I've done something right as a parent. But yeah.
Well, I was on a show earlier this week, and Lefty was saying how, or maybe I wasn't even on the show. I wasn't on the show. It was Lefty and Rico. I just felt like I was on the show. I was just watching. That's too funny. But he was saying that he couldn't believe that Pokemon was 25 years old, and he felt so old because that came out when he was 4. And I was like, yeah, it seems like it was just yesterday, and I was way grown up. So that really makes me look old or feel old.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, goodness. All right. I think I got most of the stuff. I know the chat jumped around a little bit. If I did miss anything, feel free to put it in there. Randy Roman said, do we ask questions here? I have aquatic plants and plants that hang out above my tank. Any recommendations for light that can satisfy both? What
was the question?
I have aquatic plants and plants that hang out above my tank. Any recommendations for a light that can satisfy both? Really, most lights can do it as long as there's enough height above the tank, assuming that you've not got a super deep tank. I have got a setup that I won't recommend because it's not really worth it, but it's just, it used to be a reef light, and I changed the bulbs out for aquarium for freshwater plants. And I have it about a foot above that tank, and I've got like my pothos growing out underneath it. But I have found that a lot of that stuff, just the room lights will do, depending upon what the plant is. If you've got a plant that's growing out of the tank that's got special light requirements, then you may want to get, like an LED to be able to hang a little bit higher. But there's not a whole, I feel like there are not a lot of them that wouldn't do the trick, except maybe like older fluorescents. If you're getting into the older fluorescents, a lot of those probably are not going to have enough par when you get down to the bottom. Yeah, like that's great. LED shop light. Chubby Guppy says 6,000 to 6,500K LED shop light. Absolutely.
Check out that shop light.
Yeah, that's the one is that the one with the MP3 player built in, or the speaker built in?
I actually already hung the MP3 player over the 200.
Yeah.
But this one doesn't have it, but it's the same. And these things are super bright. I don't think you'd have any problem putting that 1.5 foot over your. Oh gosh, Nico must have stood on my keyboard because he's trying to type something to everybody. Okay. But yeah, they're so bright, you'll have no problem whatsoever. Did Nico stand on my keyboard while I was over there?
Possibly. I know somebody said it's the Nico show now. Yeah. I've not done the sweet potato thing. Rebecca Jackson was asking tips on doing the sweet potato in the tank. Not done the sweet potato thing. I need to give it a try, but I haven't tried it, and I honestly can't give you any tips, Rebecca. So you do me a favor, give me some tips if you try it, and let me know how it works out for you.
I can give a couple tips.
There you
go. The best success is not to get your sweet potato from a grocery store, because grocery stores are going to like clean them and rub off all the eyes. So you want to get them like at a farmer's market or somebody that leaves those eyes on there, because that's the little bumps all over it. And that's what's going to spawn or, make your roots come out. So that's my one tip on getting your sweet potatoes. And now,
absolutely. That makes sense.
Yeah, some grocery stores, if you see it with a lot of little bumps, then grab it. But most of the time they knock those off. I don't know if they have a machine it goes through or what.
We've got a lot of awesome people. Jeff Rose was saying, all the chatters and lurkers, where's everyone from? Roll call from Iowa. Plus, please hit the like for this stream. Absolutely. And we've got a lot of responses. People from Nebraska, Indiana, Alabama, of course, Tennessee. I see some more Tennessee Fish Mafia people in here. Awesome. Wherever Deborah went to, she's in Western Tennessee. So many awesome people from so many awesome places. I had a comment. I can't find it now, but he mentioned possibly getting a hydroponics grow light. That should definitely do the trick. I would not have suggested that only because of the, I guess, investment, if you will, or the price point. But if that's something you're willing to do and you're interested in, I think that would be kind of perfect. That's definitely going to be a good source of light for those plants. All right.
Hey, Andrew's from my hometown, or one of my hometowns. I lived the majority of my life between Kansas City and St. Louis, in those two cities. And then
sorry, buddy.
couple of years here in Chattanooga. And you know what? I love it here.
So Paul was asking about that white spot on the discus. It was a question in my stream before this started up. It was behind the gill, if I remember correctly. I feel like it was right behind the gill. I may be slightly off on that. I don't think it's hole in the head, but it definitely could. If it was on the head, that would definitely make sense. Or it might be, but I don't think it is. But that definitely is a possibility for white spots in the upper region, I guess is the best way to put that. It's 11:34 p.m. and I'm already starting to lose my mind. I don't know how I'm going to pick it.
Could you tell, was it wasn't a wound, was it just like another fish biting?
This is a different picture. This is, yeah. Let's see.
We ought to do a stream someday. Everybody send us photos that you want us to look at and pop on the screen. Or you know what? You guys could send them to James and we could even just spend 5 minutes looking at an individual photo or a couple.
Absolutely. That is always fun stuff. Our man says, do you have any tips for breeding plecos? If we're talking bristlenose, I'm going to say give them plenty of meaty foods. So I like to give brine shrimp. I actually use the Hikari spirulina BioPure brine shrimp and also frozen bloodworms. And then veggies. I like to feed a lot of canned green beans. I like the French style. You can use the cut. Brand doesn't really matter. You can rinse them if you'd like. I typically don't even rinse them. I just drain them. But those are kind of my big things that I feed for breeding the bristlenose. And that typically applies to a lot of different plecos, especially the meaty part, because you want to get those proteins in there to get them everything that they need to be able to produce eggs well and properly. So that's going to be my big thing. Of course, cave. Depending upon what you're breeding, different things like different caves, I guess. Most of them are the same, but there are a couple of odd species of plecos that don't want just a standard cave. But get them a cave they can breed in. If you're getting into things like, say, zebra plecos, like really high flow, oxygenation, and a lower pH, but just for most of your bristlenose and stuff, your setup's probably going to be perfectly fine. Make sure he's got a cave in there so that he can get her pinned in and have some place to protect the eggs. Feed him some meaty foods and some green beans, and you should have babies in no time. Aquatic Aesthetics says, New Life Spectrum Hex Shield is what I use for hole in the head. Has worked every time. That is awesome information. I appreciate that, Rob. Definitely good to know. I've not had to fool with it, fortunately, but if I do, now I know. And if you're in East Tennessee, check out Aquatic Aesthetics near Chattanooga, Tennessee. If you're not quite that far down south, if you're in the Knoxville area, you can check out my buddy Kenny and Aquatic Marine. Two awesome local fish stores, two awesome hobbyists and community-oriented people. That's the word I'm looking for. So thank you, Rob, for that.
Yep. Awesome.
I know I
and
missed
so is
something.
Tammy,
here.
his wife. Tammy is super cool. She's always a delight to talk to. I enjoy her when I go there too.
Fantastic. This is the one I always want to mess up with. Fantastic. The other Fantastic. But Fantastic Fish Friends says, Fish Room Fever, I have a 180-gallon tank. The stores in my area don't carry lights that long. Can I use two 36-inch 24/7 Planet Plus brand lights, or will I need more? 180. I'm not entirely sure. 30. That might be sufficient. The only thing that I'm maybe worried about is that going to give enough spread front to back on the tank? Or are you going to need 2 lights here and 2 lights here to be able to get enough par to the bottom, enough light spread. There's definitely nothing wrong with using, you know, a 3-foot light, 3-foot light on a 6-foot tank, just as long as you're getting enough spread front to back on that tank and that it's getting down deep enough to provide sufficiently.
And some daisy chain together too, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely. All right.
That's the disadvantage with that light that I was showing. It's super bright, but it doesn't have the blue light in it that makes everything look pretty. You know, it's going to be more of a bright yellow, warm color. Just throwing that out there.
Mike Stambaugh, I'm right there with you. So just buy a 72-inch beams work off eBay. Absolutely, you can. I've got one of those, and I love that thing. There's another option. If you're not dedicated to getting the 24/7s, if you're dedicated to using the 24/7s and use, you know, kind of go with that method that I mentioned. But yeah, the 72-inch beams works. I've got one. Love that thing.
Yeah. Now, I believe in helping my local fish store as much as I possibly can. The one thing that I don't generally do is the aquarium lights, because I'm always looking for an affordable way to do it, just because they're so expensive.
They are, and that's not their fault. It's one of those things. It costs them a lot of money to get those things in. You know, it is what it is. As much as I hate to say that, sometimes things just have to be what they are. Yeah,
when you have 60 tanks, I can't afford to put $200 light on every one.
Yeah, it'd be great if we could. You know, Kessel, if you're listening and you want to send out, you know, 150 or so lights for us to split, we'd love to do that, and we'd put a nice hashtag sponsored on there. A, I know you're not listening, and B, I know we're not getting it, but yeah, I mean, we'll take one light. I'll take a sticker. I mean, I like stickers, you know,
especially from Castle.
Yeah. But it is 11:40 Eastern time.
Oh,
you want to go ahead and do this giveaway? I know we've got Dave's Aquarium Thoughts coming up after us. He's never in a rush, but he's always willing to go as soon as we get done. I hate to leave him sitting on hold.
Yeah, Dave is an amazing guy. And you know what? I haven't even had dinner yet.
I haven't either.
For some reason, I totally forgot about the 9:30. The whole time I was thinking 10:30, and I was going to eat a burrito in front of James, but gosh,
I called him and I said, "Buddy, are you okay? We start in 2 minutes," and he said, 2 minutes.
I was talking to a friend on the phone, and I was gonna set my tea up, eat a burrito while we talked, but now I'm gonna go get nuggets.
All right, so let me share the screen here. We can roll for our winner. Final chance, hashtag 1K, the number 1, the letter K. If you would like to be entered to win that T-shirt from Chattanooga Ed.
You know what? Lisa from KG just showed up. Hi, Lisa.
Ooh.
She maybe didn't know about the giveaway. She could win a shirt.
Good to see you, Lisa. Again, a huge shout out and thank you all to you and John for everything you all do for the community and for us personally in terms of the send-overs and all that awesome stuff. Can't thank you enough for that.
So it's the number sign, hashtag 1K. Awesome. Oh, wait.
Right.
She just said congratulations. Thank you, Lisa. I was excited that she put 1K in there. But thank you so much. She probably doesn't want a Chattanooga Ed t-shirt. Which is quite all right.
Oh, I don't think anybody specifically doesn't want a Chattanooga Ed shirt.
My cat unplugged the cat unplugged me.
All right.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, sorry about that. The cat unplugged my earphones.
All right. So we've got the final entries in here. I hope you've got it, because by the time this gets to you, because we're not technically live, we're a couple seconds delayed. It will be too late, but I see Lisa entered and Rob at Aquatic Aesthetics, as well as a couple last-minute entries. Let's go ahead and roll it live here. The winner is Fat Man Aquatics, who got in there at the last second. Congratulations, Fat Man Aquatics.
Awesome. My new favorite YouTuber.
There we go.
That's cool.
One day I will be Ed's favorite YouTuber. I'm just kidding. I don't have enough guppies for that.
You know, I got put on I was on the hot seat on Rob's channel yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I'm terrible with numbers. He's got a number like 48 or something behind. It's Rob something with his number. But
Rob 93?
yes, thank you. And I mean, it's poor Lefty. I'll never get his number right.
Lefty 3213A.
Unbelievable. You're amazing. That's why he's my friend. But they put me on the hot spot and they said, who do you like more out of the the Tennessee Fish Mafia? And they said, you, Bob, or Sean Peck.
Oh God. Sean Peck. I mean Bob. I mean me. I mean
well, I had to go with Bob because he was in the stream. I was like, well, Bob's here.
Right, absolutely.
But that was a lot of fun. And thank you, everybody that's been just so nice. I mean, people have been congratulating me all day long. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a lot of fun.
So, Fat Man Aquatics, if you would send a message to Chattanooga Ed on Facebook, he is the one, the only Chattanooga Ed. Get him your information so he can get that shirt sent out to you. Please allow a little bit of time for that to happen because we need to order the shirt and have it shipped out. That's not actually on hand to put in the post tomorrow, if you will.
And Fat Man's funny. So if you guys want to watch a funny video or two, I think he has 2 right now. Maybe he has 3. I didn't check to see today. Go check out Fat Man because I'm not going to tell you to sub to him, but you will. We'll just say that.
There you go. Gotta love it. Final thoughts, Ed?
Nope. It was just a ton of fun. Tomorrow I'll be with Lefty at 4:15, and we'll be talking about anything you guys want to talk about. And then Saturday nights I'll be with James on Saturday Night Live, and we will reveal our mystery person. Next week, hopefully the stars will align, and we'll have Amber from Big City Bettas with us, and that'll be awesome.
Absolutely.
And Monday I hang out with Rico. And we talk comic books, and that's a lot of fun. And you guys, I don't know the time, so Lefty, if you just throw all the times. I think Rico is at 9 o'clock, and I was going to ask him if he would maybe want to do it an hour earlier. But I was just going to ask him, and I probably shouldn't ask him live. Okay, so forget I even said that. On Tuesday, I'm at 8 o'clock with Diego, and Wednesdays are my day off. So thank you guys so much. It's a lot of fun. And I'm
going to get a link for Dave's Aquarium Thoughts, who's coming up next.
Yeah, and everybody go over and check out Dave. He is just a great guy, super nice. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, Fat Man. If you would like to, you don't need to make a Facebook account if you don't have one. Just email me, fishroomfever@gmail.com. Put in the title, Ed giveaway winner or something that'll stand out. I'll know exactly what it is, and I will send your address along with the other winner's address. Yes, fishroomfever@gmail.com. You got it, and I'll just forward both of those to Ed. That way you're not having to create a Facebook account just to do it.
Awesome.
Yeah, we need just an Ed calendar, like an Ed only calendar, because Ed is everywhere.
It's almost embarrassing, but I'm only talking fish on 3 of the channels. So
absolutely. There's Lefty dropping the link for the Lefty 3213A show. I believe I just messed that up. Lefty 3213A. There we go. I'm going to post a link for Dave's channel because I don't see the link for tonight's show. Dave, if you're here, help me out, buddy.
He might be waiting it on his side.
He might be. Normally he has it scheduled, but let's go ahead and copy that. This is for Dave's Aquarium Thoughts. I'm going to go ahead and type in here, Dave next. We've got so many awesome people. Again, I want to say a huge thank you to everybody that hung out over on the Fish Room Fever channel and then came over here afterwards. Saw a lot of awesome new names, and we greatly appreciate that, both Ed and myself. Everybody that's here supporting my buddy, Chattanooga Ed. Thank you all for that. He's an awesome guy, and I know he appreciates it, and as do I. Dave is here. Give me a second to schedule it. All right. Dave is getting that scheduled, and then we will drop a link, and then we will cut it. Dave's a cool dude, and he is very, very kind in the fact that our ending time fluctuates a lot on Thursdays. And so he's just kind of, hey, I'll roll with the punches. And when y'all get done, I'm ready to go. But I do encourage you to go check him out because he has a really fun show.
Oh, awesome. He's here. And he says it is scheduled. So that's awesome.
All right. Let me.
Now, BJ asked a question earlier, and I
works.
forgot what it was. I was going to respond. I'm sorry, BJ.
There we go. Left, you got it.
If you remember, leave it in the message at the bottom, or if you can pop it real quick, we'll try to get to it. Thank you, everybody. It was a lot of fun. And I got to give a special thanks to Kenny for getting the ball rolling. You know, he threw the ball down, and it just got turned into an avalanche. And I really appreciate it, Kenny. I owe you big, buddy.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me here. Appreciate everybody supporting. Love you guys. Tom Patterson.
Tom's awesome.
There we go. BJ Palmer, real quick, asking how to join the channel. You can't yet. Ed doesn't have memberships because you have to be monetized before you even get memberships, but you can subscribe. So as long as you're subscribed, that's the most you can do to support right now, and it's greatly appreciated. But
you know what? I'm never going to do the membership things. So if you want just membership to this guy and tell him to let me do stuff with him, and I will for his membership stuff.
There we go. Absolutely. I appreciate that, buddy. I do. Thank you to everyone. I like that. Let's do hashtag 1000 to Dave's stream. Let's go rate him. Dave's Aquarium Thoughts coming up right now. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having me, Ed. Again, congratulations, my buddy, my pal, my friend. We'll see you all. He'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you all Saturday. Bye-bye.